A hacker disables your brakes while you're driving. You'd assume that's a movie plot. Bad CGI, cheesy dialogue. Impossible in real life. It happened. Confirmed. Documented. In a real Toyota, on a real road, and the driver had no idea it was even possible. Security researchers analyzing Toyota's electronic control systems found something the engineers probably wish they hadn't. The brake control unit. The software telling your car to stop was reachable through the vehicle's internal network. Not wirelessly, not from outside, but reachable. And reachability is the crack in the wall. They demonstrated they could send commands that interfered with braking response, not cinematic brake failure, something far worse, subtle, delayed. The kind of thing that in a split-second emergency costs you everything. The car doesn't stop working entirely, it just doesn't work the way you expect it to, at the exact moment your life depends on it. This wasn't supposed to be possible. Toyota's response? The vulnerability requires physical access to the vehicle, which is true and which completely misses the point. Because here's what the Toyota case actually revealed. Every component in your car, the entertainment system, the engine, the brakes, shares the same internal network. It's called the CAN bus. That's Controller Area Network, designed in the 1980s for efficiency, not for security. If you're on that network, you can send commands to anything connected to it. No authentication, no verification, nothing. The brake system doesn't ask where the instruction came from, it just follows it. One door in, every room open. And while we're talking about brakes, keep something in the back of your mind, because the next case doesn't stop at brakes, it takes the steering wheel too. 2015, two security researchers, Charlie Miller and Chris Volasek, invite a journalist to drive a Jeep Cherokee on a public highway. They tell him something might happen. They don't tell him what. From a laptop inside a house miles away, they connect to the Jeep's Uconnect infotainment system through its cellular data connection. The same network carrying radio and navigation data. Through that connection, they reach the CAN bus. First, the air conditioning blasts cold at full power. Then the radio switches stations and maxes the volume. The journalist is slapping every button he can reach. Nothing responds. Then the transmission cuts out. On a highway, at speed, the car slows. Trucks roar past. In a controlled demonstration, they also took the steering, full directional control, from a laptop miles away. The researchers could have killed him. They chose not to. The Jeep hack wasn't just a demonstration. It forced Chrysler to recall 1.4 million vehicles. The first time in automotive history a cybersecurity vulnerability triggered a mass recall. The infotainment system and the drive controls were supposed to be completely isolated from each other. Two separate systems, no crossover. That was the design. The engineers who built it would have told you confidently that what happened on that day on that highway was not possible. They were wrong. This wasn't supposed to be possible, and we're only on case 2. Now we're starting to see a pattern. The next 4 cases show exactly where that pattern leads. One of them involves something you'd never think to check. And the last one, most victims never even knew it happened. Most people hear your data was exposed and feel nothing. We've all been breached. It's background noise now. So forget the data framing. Here's what the Subaru case actually means. Researchers found an authorization flaw in Subaru's Starlink platform that let them take over any linked vehicle account using nothing more than a target's name, phone number, or email address. No passwords cracked, no sophisticated tools, just information that's often publicly available, the kind of thing you can find in 30 seconds on social media. Once inside, remote engine start, door unlock, a full year of precise location history. Every address, every late night, every routine the owner thought was private. Think about who finds that useful. Not an advertiser, a stalker, someone who needs to know exactly when you leave the house, where you go, and when you'll be back. And who can make sure the car is unlocked when you get there. This isn't a data breach, it's a physical threat wearing a software mask. Subaru patched it. The question nobody asked out loud, how long was it open before anyone checked? Lucid, positioning itself as a Tesla challenger, had researchers find weaknesses in how its vehicles handled over-the-air software updates. And this one goes deeper than it sounds. OTA updates don't just add new features to a screen, they control the vehicle's core operating behavior: power delivery, regenerative braking, stability control, emergency driver assistance. The software is what decides how the car physically responds in the moment you need it most. Change the software, you change the machine. If that pipeline is compromised, the patch becomes the attack. The car downloads what it believes is a legitimate system update. It installs automatically, silently, with no prompt and no confirmation. The driver has no way of knowing what just changed or what the car will do differently the next time they brake hard on a wet road. This wasn't supposed to be possible. OTA was supposed to make cars safer. Instead, it opened a permanent remote channel straight into every system that keeps the vehicle under control. The Volvo case is not about data, it's about a moving car that can be interfered with from the outside. Researchers found vulnerabilities in Volvo's connected systems that exposed access to active vehicle controls, specifically speed management and steering assist. Not passenger comfort features, the systems responsible for keeping the car stable, holding its lane, and responding correctly in an emergency. Remote access, active systems, a car that can be pushed in the wrong direction at exactly the wrong moment, by someone who was never anywhere near it. No trace of entry, no footprint left behind, just a vehicle that suddenly doesn't behave the way physics and the driver both expected. Volvo fixed it, but the lesson is the same one this entire list keeps teaching. Everywhere a modern car connects to the outside world, there is a door, and not all of them have locks. There was no broken window, no hot wiring, no one anywhere near the car. Researchers demonstrated a method to access a Porsche wirelessly. No physical contact, no presence at the scene, and extract enough data to clone the vehicle's keyless entry system. They captured the cryptographic signal the key fob uses to communicate with the car, replicated it, and used it to unlock the door, or drive away. No alert, no trace, nothing on the dashboard. The car sat exactly as the owner left it, right up until it didn't. The owner wouldn't know until the car was gone. Keyless entry is marketed as a security upgrade, smarter, more convenient, harder to beat than a physical key. What the Porsche case proved is that the wireless signal underneath it can be silently intercepted from a distance, duplicated, and used by someone the owner never saw, in a window of time too short to register. This wasn't supposed to be possible. A perfect theft before it even happens. So, where does that leave you? The infrastructure built to make your car smarter was never designed to keep it safe. The people who could fix it have known about these problems for years. And right now, as autonomous vehicles push permanent connectivity from a feature into a requirement, the surface area for every one of these attacks is about to get dramatically larger. We're not talking about one car, we're talking about entire fleets running identical software, exposed by a single vulnerability all at once. The scale of what becomes possible at that point is something the industry has not seriously reckoned with. The question isn't whether your car can be hacked. The question is whether anyone will tell you when it is. Subscribe if you want more of this. We've got a lot more ground to cover.